You ever thought about how kids feel when they grow up in poverty? You ever thought about how they feel when they see all their friends with the latest and the greatest and they're just trying to survive? I know for me, it was one time when I was just trying to find some clean clothes to wear to school, particularly a pair of socks. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but as a child, that was one of the saddest moments that I can remember, and it was the most embarrassing day of my life. One day we woke up and it was time to go to school, so we were getting ready to go to school, and man, I couldn't find anything to wear because, you know, where I lived at, there was a lot of just dirty clothes, man. We would walk on the clothes in the hallway to get to where we were going. I smile about it and laugh now, but man, it's so real because it was something that just sticks out in my mind. But this particular day, as I was getting ready to go to school, I vividly remember that I had put on a pair of shorts, and so I didn't have any socks. And so what I had to do was I went through and I picked out, you know, through the dirty clothes pile. I don't know if you've ever done that. It was such a sad place to be as a kid, but I picked through the dirty clothes pile, and I couldn't find any socks that were clean, and so I just grabbed a pair that probably were dirty, probably were used. They were the big tall, like the big tall, they called them Kool-Aid socks when I was in school. They had the stripes around the top and be red or blue or green or something like that. And so I remember I had put those socks on, and they were going to be so tall. Now, all you cool kids, this was way before tall socks were cool. This is when, man, if your socks were tall, you were the clown of the class, and they were about to laugh at you and make fun of you. And so I took those dirty socks and I put them on, and I remember folding them under. You know, like it's so long. I remember folding it under because if I folded it under, then it would look like it's a lot shorter. And so I put them on like that, and I put my shoes on, and I took off to school, and, you know, just any typical kid having a good day. I rode the school bus all the time, so we got on the school bus. I took off to school, and what I remember was being in the classroom, and I had to go to the bathroom. And so the teacher at that time, she didn't let just anybody leave, and so she said, you know, there'll be a break, and then you go in little groups, 3 or 4 people run off to the restroom. And so I remember me and a few guys, we took off, we went down in the restroom, and I did my business, you know, that I had to do. And I remember that I was getting ready to go out of the restroom, and my shoe was untied. And so I wanted to tie my shoe. And so what I did was I walked over, don't judge me, I walked over to one of those little urinal things, and I got ready to stick my shoe up on the side of it so I could try to tie it. And man, I was so embarrassed because I remember when I went to stick my foot up on that urinal to tie my shoe fell off. And when my shoe fell off, that dirty sock that I had folded under, it flopped out, and man, it was revealed. And I just remember that in that moment, and my heart just sank. It just sank so deep inside of me. I didn't know what to do. And the people that I was around, they just started making fun of me. I remember them calling me names. I remember talking about my dirty socks, talking about how poor we were at my house. And in that moment, I just remember thinking that, you know, there's nothing good in my life. I got to wear dirty clothes to school. I got these dirty socks, and everybody's making fun of me. And I just remember thinking to myself, you know, I wish I didn't have to live this way. And I was so embarrassed that day that I just quickly put my shoe back on. I didn't even tie my shoe. I just left out of the bathroom, and I went back to the classroom, and I just kind of sat there, and I put my head down on the desk. And, you know, the teacher would keep asking. She'd say, "Hey, Chris, raise your head up, raise your head up." And I was just so embarrassed, and I felt so bad that I never even tried to raise my head up. I just stayed there. And I remember that day that I had gotten sent to the principal's office for not doing what I was told, of course. And I got in there and I tried to explain the story to him, but, you know, at that time I was told there wasn't a good excuse, that you have to do what the teacher said. And so I was just so angry, and I was just so embarrassed. And That was just a time in my life that, man, something in me changed, and it just gave me a different passion for people. I just don't want poor kids to think that there's no way out, and that because I was born in this, that's what it's going to be for the rest of my life. I think one of the biggest lies that the enemy tells children is that you're going to be no better than where you come from. And that's the one that gets me, because you can go as far as you want to go in this life, but you have to be willing and you have to be determined every day to get up and do something different than what you did the day before. If I could give young people one bit of advice that I believe would change their life, it would be get up every day and be better than yesterday. Get up every day and strive to be the best that you can possibly be in whatever situation you find yourself in. It may not be where you want to be, but if you get up every day and you're determined to be better, and you won't be there long. We lived in extreme poverty, and my mom had to work all the time just to try to pay the bills. My dad wasn't there because he was a drug addict, and getting high to him was more important than taking care of a family. We didn't go around a lot of different people because we were just so secluded where we were. We had all the cockroaches. We sometimes had food, we sometimes didn't. I grew up in a house that didn't even have a doorknob on the front door. I mean, just listen to me. I remember a time where my stepfather picked up my body at a young age and he threw me into a wall that was just sheetrock wall, and I actually went through the wall. Imagine that. I actually went through the wall, and the room that you would have ended up in didn't even have a back door on it. And so, I lived with that hole in the wall, and it was just a constant reminder of poverty. It was just a constant reminder of a damaged emotional state. It was a constant reminder that we were nobodies, and that we were not special, and that just nobody cared about us. And that's the lie that I want to tear down in this world, is that no matter where you live, you are somebody. No matter where you come from, you can be successful. No matter if you go through physical or mental or emotional abuse, that God can use you for a special purpose in life. The hardest thing for me to realize was that no matter where I had been and no matter what I had went through, that God seen every bit of it and that He loved me anyway. People don't want to talk about that, but I would tell you that God loves you no matter where you are in life. That God cares for you no matter where you find yourself. And so your current situation doesn't mean it's your eternal situation. Just because you live in a certain state right now, as far as, living in lack or living in doubt or depression or all these different emotions that we just find ourselves going through, it doesn't mean you're going to stay there. It doesn't mean that that's going to be who you are for the remainder of your life. I'm just here to tell people that God loves them. And no matter what you've done, no matter where you go, no matter where you find yourself at the end of the day, God loves you. He cares for you. And that it's all about us just calling out to Him and allowing Him to just shape our lives into something special. That's my message, and that's what I want to get out to people most of all.